Welcome back to La Rouge Yanks, where we talk about the Canada soccer and U.S. soccer. Tonight we're going to be doing a recap of the USA starting lineup and the players they've chosen for this window of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying for the month of October. And plus if we have extra time, depending on how much ground we cover in this one and how fast we do it, maybe I'll do a pre-game recap too, just like I did with the Canadian video too. So we'll see, depending on where we are in terms of length of time and depending on where we're at, as I like to try and make both videos and both teams equal footing and equal videoing. So we'll see what it is. Without further ado, let's dive into this, shall we? Goalkeepers, Sean Johnson, Zach Steffen, and Matt Turner. Pretty good. Defenders, we have George Bellow, John Brooks, Serginho Dest, Mark McKenzie, Shaq Moore, Tim Ream, Chris Richards, Anthony Robinson, Miles Robinson, and DeAndre Yedlin. By the way, Tim Ream was replaced by Walker Zimmerman. This was a late lineup notice, I think released about 2 hours ago. Due to family issues within Tim Ream's family, he has to go. So he is replaced by Nashville FC standout Walker Zimmerman. For your midfield, you have Kellen Acosta, Tyler Adams, Gianluca Busio, Luca De La Torre, Sebastian Lletget, Weston McKennie, Giannis Musa, glad to see him, Christian Roldan. Those are your midfield. Right now, I'm noticing a lot of Gold Cup players like Kellen Acosta, Gianluca Busio being brought up. Christian Roldan and Sebastian Lletget are always going to be your double. They're always going to be there no matter what for Greg Berhalter, as he trusts those players the most. But as of at the moment, I'm noticing a lot of the same players that played in the Gold Cup that are being brought up this window rather than Nations League players that were brought up last window. So this is good to see. We go to our forwards finally. We have Brendan Aronson, Paul Arriola, Gold Cup, Matthew Hoppe, Gold Cup, Ricardo Pepe was a standout player, Tim Weah, by the way, who assisted David, or Canada's David, for Lille and over in France. And then last we have Gyasi Zardes, which that's a Gold Cup, but questionable for some people. And so that's your lineup, if you don't mind the phone falling right there. Other than that, we have Christian. There's no Christian Pulisic and no Gio Reyna, as you probably saw, due to they both are injured after the last qualifying cycle, window, I should say, as Christian Pulisic got injured, I think, during the Canada game, while Reyna, I think he got injured somewhere. But it's good to see Serginho Dest back, as I know he was banged up a little bit too. But those two players are, two of your stars are gone, which is going to be tough. But it looks like Berhalter, as I mentioned earlier, will be trying to rely on a lot of the players that played in the Gold Cup over the summer. That got the job done against Mexico. So those players that stood out were, Zardes, Paul Arriola, which is also it might cause a little bit of frustration among the U.S. fan base. Shaq Moore, George Bellow, Chris Richards, which he didn't play in the Gold Cup, but there's a lot of enthusiasm around him. And then for your defenders, you have Gianluca Busio, Luca De La Torre, another new player that I'm unfamiliar with, as well as many others. Giannis Musa, which I'm finally glad to see him. I was disappointed to see him last window, as maybe he could have been the difference maker for the USA against Canada or against other games that they showed poorly, like El Salvador. But I don't know. That's speculation. We go by what we have in front of us. And then you have Zardes, Matthew Hoppe, Ricardo Pepe, Tim Weah, and those are your players that are stand out that I'm going to talk about and basically try and keep it short, but I'm going to talk about this, and the video is going to be mainly about them. So starting with Shaq Moore, he had an excellent performance in the Gold Cup, especially against Canada, scoring the 22nd goal opener, which ended up sealing the deal right there for the USA. He made the crack in this one, and so he will be having a shot against teams like, by the way, USA is playing Jamaica, Panama, and Costa Rica over the span of this October window. And by the way, sellout crowd and for Jamaica in Austin at Q2 Stadium. And so that's going to be an exciting game to watch and see fans just as we get out of this pandemic, see more fans and congregate and just really just bring back the noise that we've lost over the past year or so in the stadiums due to COVID. But sold out there, so I heard tickets right now are really hard to come by in the USA, which is it's a good thing because it means more people are interested in this team and really trying to see them bounce back from their really that 2017 Kova and that breakdown right there. So it just the more tickets that are sold kind of shows a lot. The more faith that's being produced, or I don't know how to say it, but more faith that's being just shown in this U.S. team, which is really good. And I really want to see more of that, especially in the USA. Just as this team builds, I just want to see the sport continue to build. As as you saw the recent expansion with CONCACAF and their Champions League, Leagues Cup. Just want to see a more of expansion of American soccer in general. The better, the more expanded that is over there, the better as a whole the sport will be. And so, that was a quick side note. But Shaq Moore, excellent standout against Canada. If he plays, it's going to be really interesting to see how he does against like Jamaica and Costa Rica and Panama. By the way, the USA this time, instead of having 2 away games, has 2 home games. So one in Austin and the other one I'm not sure of, but they do have 2 home games rather than 2 away games. So this now, you need to get points if you're the USA. You have to get points. But if we have time, I'll break down those games individually. George Bellow, interesting showing on defense. He's had some good moments and some poor moments. The poor moments came against what I saw in the Gold Cup, where a little defensive breakdown at times, but he did recover. So little up and down for him, but he's in this lineup. So maybe it's interesting to see what he'll do on the big stage now for World Cup qualifying, along with his other fellow Gold Cup players. So I kind of see what Berhalter's doing here. He's pulling up similar players that played in the similar tournaments. They're trying to keep that chemistry going, and it's really interesting. But at some point, maybe we can start narrowing down the talent pool and really right now the USA is kind of at a point where they can hand pick anybody, right? You can hand pick anybody you want because everybody's right now, except for Pulisic and Reina and McKinney, and a few others are around the same talent. So at the moment, the USA is kind of like Ohio State football, where they just hand pick their players, and it's basically just they can get. There's no drop off at the moment, but as I said, maybe in the near future, maybe even as this World Cup qualifying goes on, maybe you can narrow down the talent pool and really just find your top players that can really just help this team get results every time. That'll be helpful. But I don't mind this right now. It's still good to see the talent pool and talent depth in this team. It's really good. Chris Richards, the next player I want to talk about, is exciting. I hear a lot of excitement about this guy. He came from the FC Dallas Academy. He's over, I think, at either Bayern or Bayern. I don't know if he's in Spain, but he's in Europe. He's young, so that's good. He's developing, and I heard he's really going to be in the future a key cog to this team. So Chris Richards of the defense, which a lot of USMNT fans were really itching to see, either in both the Nations League tournament and the Gold Cup tournament. So that's going to be really interesting for them to see. So maybe we'll see a little bit of Chris Richards' actions on defense. And if we do, that'll be exciting, and I'll get to evaluate him more as well as everybody else. Now to our midfield standouts I want to talk about is Gianluca Busio. As once again, he's a young 18, 19-year-old kid. Overall, pretty good standing in the Gold Cup. At times, just like George Bellow, he had some ups and downs, but he's young. Bellow, I don't know if he's young too, but either way, Busio is young, and he's still learning. Maybe he can bounce back from some of his mistakes that he had in the Gold Cup and turn those mistakes into chances. Like I noticed that a lot of times when he gets the ball in the mid, he kind of holds it up at times rather than tries to create like a playmaker. So maybe he can tweak. Maybe if he tweaks a little bit of that, maybe Berhalter pointed that out. Maybe we'll see a change, Gianluca Busio, or maybe he was, as they say, diamonds under pressure. Coal under. I can't say it. Maybe he'll turn into a diamond under pressure. Let's just say it like that. We'll see. But right now, Busio is kind of like Bellow. I kind of don't expect to see a lot from him. I know he is a young prospect that will be heading to Europe at the end of the season, I think. So that's going to be exciting to see and keep developing over there, which is just what he needs right now. Just got to keep developing him at, which is same with Bellow. I just need to see him just get better. That's for a lot of these players too, that are like MLS based. A few of them are making the move to Europe. That's just good. You just need to see them. To get as many players to Europe right now is the name of the game for the USA. Next up, just like Chris Richards, we have Lucas De La Torre, and another midfielder I hear a lot of noise around too. A young guy, also in Europe. I think he's for Barcelona. But he's getting European experience, and that's just really good to see and hear. More players, as I said, the better. It's going to be really exciting to watch him play if he does get playing time and see what he's going to produce. And so, just like the other players like Busio, we'll see what he has to contribute along with the other youngsters that are on this team. And then finally, for the midfield, we have Yunus Musah, which is I'm really, really excited to finally see back in this lineup. How many times have many people in the U.S. fan base cried out to see Yunus Musah, but just couldn't see him. So now he's finally here, and hopefully he'll make a big impact as, once again, the Yanks fought over England to win this player, and well as I think Italy too. So one player I don't see is Nicolas Giacchini on any of this one. So I think he did get in last window, but I don't think he really helped a lot. But either way, he's not in this one, but Yunus Musah is. And Yunus Musah, I know he still he kind of dropped off a little bit over the year time, but he is getting better, and that's what we want to see. And every time I watch him, with the ball, he looks exciting to watch. He always does good stuff with the ball. So maybe Musah will start, and then Gianluca Busio maybe come off for a sub for him. That'll be good. As you got Musah, this energetic midfield whiz. It looks like every time he touches the ball, it just turns to gold. And then Busio maybe can, after he tires out the midfield, maybe Busio can contribute to his energy and just keeps the spark going for the Yanks as they try and grind out results here at home and even the one on the road against, I think it's Panama that they go on the road against. Yeah, it's Panama on October the 10th. So we'll see what the midfield and the defense do. But right now, I want to talk about our strikers. Starting with Zardes, this is already he's a controversial name that a lot of the USMNT fan base really don't want to see and hear anymore, as he's kind of been famous for every time he's in front of he just skies the ball over the net. But with the Columbus Crew, he's perfect, right? So if only there's a way to translate that same perfectedness from the Crew to the national team, I think Zardes would actually be a really good player if he could there was no drop off between the national team and his club. If he could finish his chances like any time, just like he does with the Columbus Crew, I think he would be a key player. But because he hasn't been necessarily known for finishing in front of the net, he's kind of dropped off over the past. But he is called up, so we'll see what he'll do. We'll see how Berhalter uses him, as I think he didn't get to play in the Gold Cup because he was injured. So we'll see what he does, and can he continue that Columbus Crew scoring excellent, to the national team? That's what I'm looking for if I see him. And then now we go to Matthew Hoppe, another one of those outstanding prospects. He had an outstanding Gold Cup. He scored a couple crucial goals to seal the deal, especially the one against Jamaica. Every time he's just exciting, and I don't know why he didn't get called up last window too, or last window in September. But either way, Matthew Hoppe is shown to be another key number 9 candidate for this team, which is what they're looking for. They're looking for the new striker candidates and others, right? And same with the next in the segue to Ricardo Pepe. They just committed to a national. He's also competing for this open market for the number 9 spot for the USMNT. So we got a lot of competition here, right? And Timothy Weah, he's also, as I said, he assisted Canada's Jonathan David. Another Larouche to the Yanks connection. So it's good to see those always partnerships. He helped them as they won 2-0 over a key opponent too. So it's good to see Tim Weah really contributing to his team. But, Ricardo Pepe, back to him real quick. Just great job. I mean, in that last game, especially against Honduras, as he scored that key goal to really get things going, really open up Honduras. And so maybe he can take that momentum going into these next games, and that'll be exciting to see. And then Tim Weah, he came off the bench in the Nations League. He provided a little bit, but I would like to see him contribute more, just like Canizardes. And I know he will. He's going to continue to hopefully provide the sparks that we need on number 9. He's also in the running for the number 9 candidate spot too. So it's really interesting to see all these players, Matthew Hoppe, Ricardo Pepe, and Tim Weah, competing for this. And maybe even if Zardes can continue to, if he can find success with this national team, which is everybody's been longing for, maybe he can also be a candidate for this. So you're still not ruled out. There's still plenty of options for this Yanks team. And it's just a matter of what they're going to do and how they're going to play their cards. And so for the lineup, that pretty much does it for this one. And unfortunately, I don't think that I'm going to have enough time to piece together or really give an analysis on each game without really overshooting the time length of the Canada video. So I want to try and keep these equally, as I said earlier on. Try and keep them as equal as possible, not too long. But if you guys do want to see me start to include game predictions and stuff like that, please leave a comment below, and I will do so at your request. But for now, that is it. I'm looking forward to see what the USMNT can do over the span of these 3 games against Jamaica, Panama, and Costa Rica. So this is going to be exciting to watch. And with that said, that's it. If you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Like I said, comment if you want me to start including game predictions in roster reaction videos, or if you just like the roster reactions by themselves. So comment down below, share it with all your friends, and also tell all your friends that the USA are continuing their journey to the road to Qatar 2022.